Hello, this video is going to talk through the notes on the formation of a star. Okay, so a few things hopefully at the end of this video you'll be familiar with. Be able to describe the process of how a star is created, identify some of the key terms in this process, and we'll summarize this process as well as for your notes. So the key terms you should be aware of when you're discussing this topic, okay, I have them there: stellar nebula, gravity, gravitational collapse, protostar, and nuclear fusion. That's them in order of how they happen or how you need to recall them when you're describing this process. Okay, so I'll go through each of them here and I'll talk you through the process with a few pictures here just to help visualize it. So a stellar nebula is a massive cloud of dust and gas, mainly, well, really hydrogen gas. Okay, there where stars are formed in stellar nebula. Okay, so those clouds, another picture of one there, those clouds of dust and gas get pulled closer together by gravity. Okay, that increases the density of the clouds and the temperature, and eventually you're going to get to the stage where the hydrogen, because it's lighter, starts to spiral inwards due to gravity in a process called gravitational collapse. That increases the temperature even more, and we end up with a really hot core of that cloud called a protostar. Okay, now a protostar is not quite there yet. It's still gaining mass from the cloud around it. The force of gravity is still pulling hydrogen gas in towards it, but it is quite hot. But once it reaches 15 million degrees, that's never nuclear fusion can happen. Okay, so here we have a diagram showing nuclear fusion. So fusion is whenever you take light elements like hydrogen and combine them and to make heavier ones. So here we have two different isotopes of hydrogen here, and they're being fused together to make helium. And there's also a release of energy, and it's that energy that the sun gives out. Okay, so this nuclear process releases energy. So just again recapping those steps in order. At the start we have a massive cloud of hydrogen and dust called a stellar nebula. Gravity pulls that hydrogen and dust closer together. The density of the cloud increases. The hydrogen starts to spiral inwards in a process called gravitational collapse. We end up with the temperature of the cloud increasing, and at you have a hot core called a protostar. And once you hit 15 million degrees, nuclear fusion can start, and that's when a star has been formed. Okay, here's a wee flow chart just going back through those. So we start out with stellar nebula, then gravity pulls that dust and hydrogen gas closer together. Density increases. Hydrogen starts to spiral inwards in a process called gravitational collapse. We have a very hot core called a protostar. And once you hit 15 million degrees, nuclear fusion can start, and that's whenever you have a star created. Okay, there's a few example questions. You want to pause the video now and have a little go at them. Go on ahead. Okay, I'll go through the answers here just very quickly. First one there, stellar nebula. Second, gravity. The third is gravitational collapse. The fourth, stellar nebula occurs first, and the fifth, 15 million degrees. Okay, here is a couple of example 6-mark questions I've taken from past paper questions. So the first one there, explain how a star is formed. Second one, describe the formation of our solar system. And the third, describe the main steps involved in the formation of our sun. They're all asking about the same thing: how is a star created? Our sun is a star. The solar system really depends on the sun, which again is a star. And here just have a sample 6-mark answer. So we're just building those little bullet points we have at the start, and the little flow chart diagram there. So you're starting with your stellar nebula. Gravity pulls that dust and hydrogen closer together. Hydrogen spirals inwards in gravitational collapse. Temperature increases and you have a protostar. At 15 million degrees, nuclear fusion starts, and that's when you have a star created. And that's it.